Hello everybody and welcome back to Quest 64. In this video we are going to be taking on the thief that has been terrorizing the people of Dondarin. We're going to get the King's Earth Orb back, and hopefully this will allow us to make way on our adventure of finding our father. So when you're ready, step through the big door and the ominous music appears. And there are no secrets, he's just waiting for you right in the middle of the arena. I had given a couple of suggestions last video on how it was that I was going to tackle this boss battle. I have 24 MP, which should give me more than enough room to comfortably defeat this guy without running out of MP. I've got tons of HP because this guy can hit very, very hard, and I also have healing at my disposal. I am more than ready and comfortable, so I'm gonna go right into his lair. And this is the Thief Solvering. What's this? What business do you have in the castle of Solvering, King of Beasts? Did that fool into Dondarin order you to come after me? Idiocy! I stole the Earth Orb and it is all mine! With it, I'll become ruler of Kenishir. I'll show you humans what real power is. Okay, so I guess that I will just briefly describe a little bit about what this guy is about. He is Earth, so he's weak to wind, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to power up wind. So, Earth may not be your best chance, however, if it's all that you've got, long range is definitely preferable with this guy. He's got one long-range attack and one short-range attack. The short-range attack is devastating. It does a lot of damage, and it's nearly impossible to avoid. His long-range attack, however, is not nearly as damaging and is very, very easy to avoid. So I would recommend distance with this guy. Wind and earth are really only your choices if you want to do long distance. Fire, you're going to have to get pretty up close and personal. And water is nearly impossible to use unless you're standing right next to the guy. So this is where my wind cutter, level 3, is going to come in handy. It's going to take up a couple of MP every single time I want to use it. But luckily for me, I can just stand here. I can drill into this guy with my wind cutter, and I can move out of the way of his beam very, very easily. So that's my strategy, basically, is to stay away from him as much as possible. If you have wind, that is absolutely fantastic. It will make your life a lot easier. And if you don't fret, because I'm sure you have a big supply of bread. I'm sure you've done, you know, a fair amount of grinding. If you do die, there's no consequences really. You'll just have to make your way through the forest, which may give you a good opportunity to grind while you're at it. So this guy's gonna be pretty easy for me to defeat. You can see there, I defeated him in less than 10 turns, I think. I wasn't really keeping track, but that was what I had estimated, and that was pretty much how that played out. He didn't do any damage to me whatsoever. But I have in the past had extreme difficulties with that boss. But I am actually very, very pleased with how that went. I am actually so happy that I'm playing this game now that I'm older because I can enjoy it so much more. I can't tell you how many times as a stupid kid I came in here with absolutely no strategy and got my butt whooped over and over and over again. And of course, to those of you who like a challenge, I'm sure that guy will be pretty difficult for you. With a challenge, sometimes it's more rewarding because you beat this really tough boss, you come out victorious, and then you're able to move on to the next area and face more challenges. So anyways, that's about all there is to that guy. I know I made it sound like a really big deal, like he was going to be really, really difficult and that you have to do a lot of grinding. Really, when it comes down to it, the more grinding you do, the easier it will become. And now that we have the Earth Orb, our next stop is going to be to go back to Dondarin, and we need to return the orb to the king. Yeah, I know, I wish I could just keep it, but I suppose it doesn't really belong to me. And we have now cleared the way, and we will be able to continue on in our adventure. However, we need to do a little bit of good old RPG backtracking first. Luckily, this place is pretty close to where Dondrin is. Unfortunately, this dungeon is very, very long. And I can't use my wings because it's a forest, or else I would just use my yellow wings and go right to Dondrin, and that would be so much faster. But unfortunately, I'm stuck here. And this is going to be really unfortunate for anybody who had a really hard time with that boss. Like, say you came out victorious, and you were going to go back to Dondrin, and you ended up dying because of these enemies. I think that would really suck. But on the other hand, I guess it wouldn't be so bad, because you would most likely end up into Dondrin. Just by dying, the game would automatically bring you back there. So maybe that's not a bad strategy after all. If you don't feel like walking back, but I don't mind walking back, it's okay. I just wish I had some sort of rappel, or I had an escape rope, or an escape spell, or something like that. I don't believe I'm able to get that yet. That's something that happens later on in the game. At least I think it is. Maybe I'm imagining things. Because you do get an ability to escape battles easier, but I don't remember if you ever get a spell that allows you to leave dungeons easier. I'll have to look more into that. Because these enemies are ruthless. They never stop. I guess nobody's come in here and disturbed them for God knows how long, though. So they probably had time to breed and multiply and annoy the hell out of any traveler who dares to come in here. I think we're almost at the end, though. There's the hut. So that shows you that we're pretty close. It's just too bad that I don't level up by simply walking around. Although I guess that would be way too easy because of all the walking you do in this game. I don't think that I mentioned it, but walking is essentially the only way to get around in this game. There is no special vehicle or anything like that that you get later on in the game. Of course you have the wings, but that's about the only thing that you really get to bring you back to somewhere that you haven't been. I guess I could use my wings if I was feeling that lazy, but look how close we are to Dondrin, and it's really not that far away. And these enemies I could probably just look at and they would fall over dead because of how strong I am. I mean, these are like first time enemies. I have almost double the HP that I had when I first started to fight them. That's a good feeling. It's really good to see, you know, those numbers, and it makes you feel like you're really making a lot of progress. And I'm excited to see how challenging the game is going to be. I hope I haven't made it too easy for myself. It has been a really long time since I've played this game, and I'm following someone's strategy just to see, you know, how it's gonna be, but I really hope I don't make this game too easy on myself. You're gonna have a bit of a challenge. And in a game like this, dying isn't bad or anything like that, so... There are some RPGs out there that are extremely unforgiving, though, and I really don't like to die in those or fail or anything like that. Anyhow, alright, it's daytime now. I was getting sick of that perpetual blackness that was affecting me. And we're going to go and tell the king the good news. We got his Earth Orb back, and we got rid of the thief. What do you think of that? You have succeeded where my bravest knights have failed. It's just as the Grand Abbot foretold. I hereby bequeath you... Anyways, the Earth Orb. It will help you in the search for your father in the Elatail book. Listen carefully. A hidden door behind the throne is open. You may take from it any treasures you need. Your courage must be rewarded. Aw, sweet! You're just gonna give me all your stuff? I will gladly take your stuff, my good sir. He's got a healing potion in here. A spirit, which I'm pretty excited for. I love me some spirits. He's also got a hero's drink. And this last chest contains a replica. So, I think I will use this spirit and put it into Earth, since Earth is looking a little bit lonely. And that is essentially all that there is to do in Dondoran. We are pretty much officially done with this place, and unfortunately this isn't a game that really requires you to do a lot of backtracking. It's very linear, so unless I choose to use my wings and come here, I really don't foresee that we will be coming back here ever again. However, I forgot to talk to Shannon now that I've defeated the thief. That's not an ordinary gem you have. Don't let anything happen to it. I have a feeling you're the one capable of releasing its power. You're not gonna tell me where to go next? Well, okay, that's fine, because I already know where to go, so I don't need your help. And if you talk to people around town, I guess as an example, I'll see if I can find a townsperson. Everybody will be talking about how the thief is gone, and how they're all happy, and they all feel safe, which is a nice feeling. Feeling safe in your own home. It appears the robber has gone away. I'm so relieved. There's nothing to fear anymore. Well, that's good. Have you seen Princess Flora? She's a tomboy and is always getting into mischief. Exactly like the late queen was when she was young, but she'll turn into a real beauty in no time. Well, apparently her thoughts are elsewhere. But we're going to be leaving the small little town of Dondoran, and we will be moving on to our next town. But unfortunately, we have to go through another dungeon. I think we have to go through 2 dungeons, actually, if I recall, so make sure you're all stocked up. I'm going to look at my items, since I have quite a few since the last time that we've looked. We got the giant shoes in the last video, I do believe, or the first video that we were in the forest. It allows you to take double steps in battle. One of the enemies had dropped Salene's Bell, which freezes your enemies. I also got a silver amulet, which increases your defense by 1.5 times. The Earth Orb holds the great power of the Earth Spirit. That's pretty much a key item. I don't think you can ever get rid of that, so that we're just going to hang on to that. And then we got a healing potion from the king. Heals 150 HP. I would hold on to that if I were you. That's probably going to do you a lot of good if you're in a very, very tight situation. We also got the hero's drink, which is 40 MP recovery. Again, I would hold on to that, if at all possible. And we got the replica, which will allow you basically a free escape. If you use it, the enemies will be distracted and you can escape. So I have a lot of items here. I'm really stingy about using my items. I'd much rather just heal. So I will probably have a really good collection of items by the time the game is done. But if you've used your bread, then there's no shame in that. That's what it's there for, and you can always get bread from, you know, people in town and whatnot. But I think I'm pretty much ready to take on the next challenge, the next area, and to move on forward. And from what I remember, this next area also has difficult enemies to deal with, and just like from the plains to the forest, when the enemies scaled up, I do believe the enemies in the next area are going to scale up as well. I'm not sure if they're going to scale up by as much as it did from the plains to the forest, but I'm sure that we're still going to have a little bit of difficulty to start out with, so that'll be fun. I always like a challenge. And hopefully it'll give me an opportunity to fill out my elements a little bit more and get some more powerful spells. I always look forward to that. So Solvering was on the left, and I went and collected some stuff on the right-hand side here, and when I was over here collecting, you may have noticed that there was a gate, and that big gate is closed until you defeat Solvering, and then when you do, it will be open, and this is where we need to go next. This is going to be the way how to get to our new town. So again, we've got some more wide open plains, and I think if I pull up the map, it'll let me know where we are. We are now in the Dondoran Flats, and there's not a whole lot of landmarks on this map. There's another forest, go figure, because this game loves forests. And it looks like there might be a port or a ship or something that we can take because there is actually no town in sight. So that's why I said to come prepared, because you have the Donneran Flats to deal with, whole new enemies. Glencoe Forest, again, whole new area with whole new enemies that have scaled up, and it's going to be quite a while before we hit another town. I'm going to call it quits here. I'm going to get myself a little bit familiarized with the area, and next time we will carry on. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that I will see you next time.